everybody, I'm Mike Starner. I'm here with Crystal Starner, who's running for the Register of Wills in Carroll County, Maryland. We're here at the Babe Ruth Diamond Field. It used to be called the Babe Ruth Diamond Fields. Now it's a more broad park that's tied in with the Ag Center, which you can see behind us, Carroll County Ag Center. The hospital's right over here, and the ball field's here. You guys can't see it, but the ball field's here, surrounded by these giant trees. And we remember when those trees were just little bushes.
Especially out in the outfield, they were hit. Got a little bit taller than us. That's about it.
So we grew up here, and one of the things that we want to talk about today is Crystal Starner's campaign for the Register of Wills, and why Crystal, and why make a change. We have somebody that's been in office for several cycles, and are they doing a bad job? Maybe not. Is there an opportunity to do a better job? Maybe not. What we think is it's time for a fresh perspective. And so we're here to talk to Crystal Starner about her views on politics, her views on Carroll County politics, also, what it means to live here in Carroll County and represent the people who have made it what it is. We'll talk a little bit about the recognition that you have folks move here because they want to have a better life.
Right.
The Carroll County offers, and having open arms for those people while maintaining our culture. So all these things are important. So Crystal, thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, you're welcome. Glad to be here.
It's kind of a beautiful day here. We were thinking about filming this thing on the ball field here because our grandfather, Reese Starner, was one of the founders of the Babe Ruth League. And if you don't know, what else was Reese Starner?
Register of Wills.
Yeah, how many years was he in there?
Almost 28 years. He almost made it 28 years before he passed.
Yeah, 28 years representing the people of Carroll County. And, maybe we weren't necessarily in the office as apprentices or interns, but we were in the office quite a bit. Can you tell people what it was like in the office there back in those days?
It was nice. And being younger or whatever, I think we learned a lot from him. And every now and then he'd give us tours of the office. And like you said, at one time about the books being taller than you,
big giant books with all the registers, the Register of Wills. It was an actual register.
He'd be sitting in his chair, whenever somebody come in, he always wanted to be the first one there to greet somebody, shake them hands, and introduce himself.
Yeah.
He was.
Well, he was a World War II veteran. He flew in a B-17 bomber as a navigator. He flew a full tour duty during the war, so a little bit of a war hero.
Yes.
When he came back, he was a salesman. He worked around the county and sold candy, I think is what he focused on, right?
Yeah.
And cards and candy.
He delivered ice, I think.
Delivered ice?
I think that was his first job, delivering ice.
And I remember him telling me in the winters he would drive a fuel truck for heating oil and stuff like that. And eventually, just because he knows people, because he interacts with people, he was able to, run for office for the Register of Wills. He was successful.
Yes.
And so here we are, all those years later,
Yes.
and we have another Starner who wants to, sort of walk in those footsteps and help people of Carroll County. So tell me a little bit about, Crystal, what you think you bring to the table when it comes to an office like the Register of Wills.
I think integrity, being compassionate and understanding people and giving them clear guidance and how to handle their cases.
Yeah, because it can be complex, right?
Yes. Very complex. It's a very hard, serious time for people when they come in.
Right. You think of all the different offices that are out there that you could, if you want to get involved in politics and you want to represent the community, the Register of Wills is one of those tough ones because you're dealing with people who've just lost a loved one,
right.
or they're preparing their estate and making sure that they're ready in case something happens.
Right.
And you're dealing with some very stressful times, and there are some complicated matters that have to be handled the right way. And so part of it is, maybe for this discussion, is you're not a politician, are you?
No, not at all.
So what made you decide to run for office?
Because I wanted to dedicate and help people, and I saw how my grandfather helped people and growing up in that office, and I really wanted to give back and help the community out and grow and get where it is today.
But you're not an attorney.
No.
Do you think not being an attorney is a detriment, or is that a benefit, or is it neutral?
I think sometimes it might be a benefit because you're not set in that. I think there's only been 3 actual lawyers that have been Register of Wills. So
Crystal, the Register of Wills is one of those political offices where, you have to be paying attention to detail. You have to work with people. You have to understand what's important to them. You have to work with the collective group of people in the office there. So you have the administrative staff that works in the Register of Wills, and then there's some coordination with the Orphans Court there. And from your perspective, and maybe not everything that's out there, but at the core of it, what does the Register of Wills do?
And it helps people when they come in and they want clear answers. It's the hardest time in their lives, and they're like confused. There are all kinds of emotions going through, and they need help. What's the next step we have to do?
So, if you were to address, if you were able to look somebody in the eye and talk about, what makes you different, why should people vote for you versus the incumbent?
I think because I'm compassionate. I have a good hard work ethic. To get the job done. That listen to people and hear them out and give them the best advice I can give them.
Guys, that's what we're talking about, right? The Register of Wills. Most people don't even know what the Register of Wills is or what it does. But it manages, folks' estate, right? When you have a will, last will and testament, you want to make sure it's administered in the right way. You want to make sure if there's any issues that pop up that it gets resolved. And, yes, you could be an estate attorney and have had 30 years litigating estate law, or you could be someone who's a professional politician that's bounced around and done a lot of different things. You're neither one of those things, are you?
No.
What are you?
I'm a hard worker, and I love the community. I want to help the community grow and, be a place for more people to come into Carroll County and have their families here and grow up here like we did. And, they have their own generation after generation.
So green and growing, you're thriving, you're in this community that you love. You're not planning on leaving, are you?
No, I'm not going.
I'm not planning on leaving. I hope you people aren't planning on leaving. As a matter of fact, a lot of people are coming. A lot of people want to be here in Carroll County because of our values. So values is so important. So talk to us, Crystal. What are Carroll County values?
Yeah, they want a good place to come and raise their family. They're all hardworking, busy. Our kids are in sports. They have their own lives going on.
Right. Everybody's busy. They got their own stuff going on. You procrastinate and you don't do a will, last will, testament. Eventually you decide it's time to do it. Your hopes are that when the time comes that it gets administered the correct way.
Right. That's the thing. You get administered the right way. And, hoping there's if some cases people come in, they don't have a will. They didn't write anything down or leave anything.
Oh my! And then you and I guess the court has to work on getting that resolved.
Yeah, to go into paper and in case there's any debtors after them or they owe any debt, all that has to go through, and you have to go into probate.
So it can get complicated real quick, and even if you think you have dotted your I's and crossed your T's, maybe there's some things you didn't think about. Obviously, you're probably going to get an attorney to represent your interests, but there's got to be somebody at the county who is sort of calling balls and strikes.
Yeah.
So that the right outcome develops, right? Because heaven forbid you put all that effort into creating some sort of legacy and then it just gets turned upside down somehow. Or even worse than that, like you mentioned, heaven forbid you never did any of that stuff, and now you're hoping there's somebody that's going to manage that in a fair and reasonable way.
Because then it's up to the court. If you don't put in a will, it's up to the court to decide who gets what and what goes where.
And I'm sure you guys can imagine what that's like. Tell me a little bit about that work ethic that our grandfather, Reese Starner, kind of instilled on us.
Just to work hard, never give up, just dedicate yourself and just go with what you believe in. And
that's right, no nonsense, right?
Right, that's it.
And this county has changed a lot over the years, and there's sort of you got your traditional generational Carroll County folks, and then you have people who've moved here for a better life. A lot of us live in Carroll County. They kind of call it like a bedroom community because people live here, but they may work elsewhere. Folks that live elsewhere started to learn a little bit about Carroll County and what makes Carroll County so great, and wanted to have better life for their family.
Yeah,
So what's great about Carroll County when you think about Carroll County?
From growing up here, people that, like he said, coming in, moving in here, this is a great place to raise your kids, to have a family. It's a safe place. It's an easy commute to wherever you want to go, and There's a lot of nice stuff here.
There's a lot of opportunity, a lot of legacy, right? And so the Register of Wills is about protecting legacy. You think of, you know, how hard you work to develop an estate, and, you know, unfortunately, we all run out of time, and when we do, we hope that our estate is in good hands, and the folks that are supposed to be beneficiaries of our estates get the treatment that they deserve. And in public service, that's really what the Register of Wills does, right? Is to make sort of like triage that event, make sure it gets handled the right way, and sort of like, you know, help people along the way, almost like a shepherd of a flock, you know? So
Right.
you're in this really hard time of your life, and you need somebody to kind of help you through that.
Yeah.
So Crystal, you do a lot in service, and I know just firsthand how well you engage with people and help people. In your heart, what's important about when you're in an elected office serving the people in the communities that you live in?
Well, just like, I know it's like a hard time. Yeah, we've been through that. Like, it's just, you come to me, like I know a lot of people, like I want to help people. I want to help them understand they need clear guidance and, you know, respectful, and somebody with integrity to help them work through these issues.
Yeah, you said integrity. I think that's a big piece of this thing. And politics today and our society, people are being pulled in a lot of different directions. They don't really know who's working towards their interests. But, you know, I can't think of too many other places where integrity is as important as the Register of Wills.
Right.
And, you know, me and you, when we were kids, used to go visit our grandfather at the Register of Wills.
Yes.
In the old office. And you know, a lot has changed since those days.
Yeah,
Back in those days,
yes.
What was the office like? Tell us about the office and how he did business.
Oh, he was against computers and stuff like that. Like everything he wanted hammered out. They had to, after he passed away, I think when they got everything computerized in there.
Right.
So he wanted it all written down. He wanted all
The detail.
have it in front of him, you know.
Yeah, you know, the important elements that are in details. He's very detail oriented, and I remember something that jumped out at me was when you would go visit, he had this room with these big giant books.
Oh, I remember.
Remember those big books?
Yes.
So these books are almost as tall as me. I'm not like a giant or anything, but you know, those books had all the details, line by line, everybody in
Yes.
Carroll County's estate and how it was handled and adjudicated if necessary. And you know, there's a staff in the office that, you know, the administrative staff. You got the orphans court who, you know, sort of gets involved when things are contested. So it's a community effort right there in that office. And
Right.
tell me a little bit about teamwork. You know, what do you know about teamwork, and why is teamwork important for an office like the Register of Wills?
Yeah, well, they always say there's no I in team. You know, we all work together. If you don't have a good system set up in place, it's not going to like flow. It's going to be something, one person says, oh, I can do it all. No, you rely on your resources.
Right. Delegate tasks, you know, take advantage of the strengths of others to overcome maybe some team weaknesses. And so having the ability to manage a team is going to be important in this
Yeah.
role, right?
Right.
And so, you know, we think about here we are at the baseball fields, like we talked about, the legacy, the history. You know, our family has been here before Carroll County was even a county, if you go back far enough,
Yeah,
right?
it's way back.
Back when Frederick and Baltimore County kind of split it up to make Carroll County. So we've been here for a while, but here's what I want you to think about. It's not that you're stuck in the mud. We're not, you know, traditionalists in the sense that we're not progressive and thinking about the future, because there's a lot of opportunity in the county.
Right.
Right. Growth is important. Smart growth is important, and not necessarily that the Register of Wills will be there, but you know, as a representative of the Republican Party here in Carroll County, our conservative values, making sure that we protect the rural fabric. You know, many of our. I was just at a school function the other day over at Elmer Wolf, and you know, the field, the baseball field there backs right up against the farmland, right? And so
Right.
that's what's unique about Carroll County.
Yeah.
So Crystal, tell us a little bit about the people of Carroll County. What makes people of Carroll County unique, and in what ways have you been in service of the people in Carroll County outside this campaign for the Register of Wills?
Well, way back when, there was a lot of farms here, a lot of farmland. Like our great-great-grandparents had a big farm out on Cross Section Road up towards Tawnytown. Like we have a little heritage there with farmland and stuff. And then the youth today, like I'm a big, and since my girls were little, like with softball, giving back, like helping them out to learn the sports. Like they'll learn skills along the way to help them in their future lives.
Yeah, be an advocate of the people coming behind us and making sure that you're not just looking at our own interests, but helping to help the community thrive.
Right.
And I know that, you know, you're new to politics. This is not what you do. You're not a politician.
No.
Why is it important for someone to enter this office that's not cut from the same cloth, that's not the same old, not the same incumbent who has been doing things the same way for years and years? A fresh perspective, somebody to come in and talk about how we can do things differently with a progressive view, but also tied to conservative values. What's important with all that?
Well, just like integrity. I think like we need somebody like they can trust and they can come to that knows that they'll be respectful for these people's estates and overseeing their estates, especially with a hard time, to be compassionate and listen to them and make sure they get done in an easy process.
You just said something that just kind of jumped out at me, and it's compassionate. Man, I can't think of a more tumultuous time in your life than during a death of a loved one, and now you're charged with managing the estate, or you know, helping to be involved with that and making sure your family is treated fairly.
Right.
You know, how are you going to ensure that Carroll Countyans don't have a lot of money, don't have a lot of influence, they're just, you know, salt of the earth, dirt under their fingernails, back is sore from working all day, working shift work. How do we make sure we protect those kind of people?
Well, they come into the office, I know it's like they're busy with their lives, and we all have kids and busy doing this or busy in that, like to set aside time, like they need, you know, clear answers and guidance to, you know, get it done. I know it's like a 6 months process.
Yeah. Well, it takes time, and like I said, you need somebody to kind of walk you through that process, but the compassion to make sure that people who are blindsided by this whole ordeal have somebody that's there working towards an interest, but I think most importantly, understands the culture of the community,
Right.
which is so important. So you talked about the work that you do with young people and softball and some other things that are out there. You know, what are some things about the future of Carroll County that's important to you? What are some of the things where you'd like to see the county go? What are some things where you think the county should stay away from? And what do you think your role was in all that?
Well, I think like helping our younger generation, like see our values and hard work and dedication to helping other people. So everybody gets caught up in their own lives and the quick hustle bustle, you know.
That's right. That's right. And so some people that are watching this, or maybe even the people who are thinking that you might not be a good fit, they may say things like, well, she doesn't have any experience. Or they might say something like, you know, what does she know about estate planning? And so obviously you're not an attorney that's been dealing with estate law, and you're not somebody that has, you know, maybe come up through some organization where you're responsible for managing estates or wills and that kind of thing. What expertise or what is the benefit that you bring versus maybe some other folks that are running for this office?
Well, I mean, they've been in law and stuff like that. Like, I figure I know people. Like, I'm genuine. Like, I care about the community. I care about the people. I want to help them understand, not just push them through like another number or something like that. Like, if you actually care and help our community grow and be stronger than it has been in the past.
Man, how can you not get behind that? You know, I can think of you know, some things where you got some elections taking place. You have some controversial topics. You have folks that are sort of stuck in the past. You have folks that are leaning too hard into the future. You know, from my perspective, what I think is great about your campaign is you're somebody that represents that middle ground, right?
Right.
You're a Republican. You love conservative values, family, community, making sure that we stay true to our traditions. But there's a part of you that looks forward,
Right.
you know, doing things that are different, being open to new ideas. A progressiveness that's not like over the top, but just enough to say, okay, we're not going to be stuck in the mud moving forward. So as we get out of here, maybe leave viewers just with your perspective of the future and you know, what your hopes are for the folks that live in Carroll County.
Well, I hope that our community keeps growing. There's more and more people coming in. Our Carroll County's getting bigger and bigger every time, and have good values and good work ethic. I'm a hard worker. I'll dedicate myself to you. And
yeah, I can't say it any better than that, y'all. So, Carroll County, conservative values, loves our people that till the land and raise crops and animals to make sure that we're thriving. She loves business. You need to have business and a good commercial base in the county to be successful. She loves our youth. She likes to make sure that we're promoting and developing our young people so they can be the leaders of the future. She's got an open mind to how we can do things more progressively and differently. Not like the old days with our grandfather that didn't want to have computers in the office. She likes computers.
Yeah.
And she sees the benefits of that.
Technology is our future. So
it's the future, right? So
we can't fight it, I don't think.
If you're on the fence, get off the fence, vote for Crystal Starner for the Register of Wills. If you're thinking that she might be the wrong fit, you're wrong. She's the right fit.
I'm the right fit.
Crystal Starner, 2026, Register of Wills.
Let's go.
Let's
Bye.
go.